Hello and welcome back to the channel Mummy Oats. For those of you who have seen my other videos, you will know that me and my son travel up to Berwick Caravan Park at least once a month. We do not own a caravan up there, which means that we're renting all of the time, which means that obviously we have to take everything with us each time that we go. So this video is just going to be my top tips on what to take, how we basically do it on a month-to-month basis. This is obviously not an exhaustive list and other people might do it differently, but this is how it works for our family and I just thought I would share in case it gave anybody any ideas. First thing to note is that we do a lot of sun holidays, the 950 ones, and the best bit of advice that I can give you is that if you've done it before, sign up for the Sun Saver codes because you get the best choice of dates doing it that way. If you haven't done it before, then obviously you can't do it early, but you'll just have to be there the first day that it opens. Otherwise, you don't really get a very good choice of dates. I would always recommend upgrading at least once because your first choice of accommodation, your $9.99 or your $9.50, whatever it might be, is your bog standard basic 10-foot caravan, which will probably not have any central heating in. If you do one upgrade, I think it's called a Comfort Plus. Then you're looking at a Standard Plus model, which will be like no more than 2 years old and will have central heating and double glazing in it, which is always a bonus in this country. You can also link bookings together because a lot of people will say, I wish I could do a week's holiday with the sun. Well, you can by booking Monday to Friday and then Friday to Monday. And then you call the park once you've got your confirmation through. You can call the park and they will normally link the bookings together for you so you can stay in the same caravan. They always say they can't guarantee it, but I don't think I've ever had a problem where I've linked a booking and had to move. Even if you did have to move, yes, it's a little bit of a pain, but it's still a week's holiday for a lot cheaper than you would be getting through any other method of booking, and that's private or direct with the park. They always add bed linen on, and that is usually the price of £15 per break. To me, I think that's a lot of money. Some people are willing to pay it because it's the convenience of having the beds made up on arrival. But as there's only me and my son that goes, and he sleeps in bed with me, I don't really need to worry about that. It's just basically a case of making up one bed. So I only have to take one set of bedding for a double bed, and that's me done. And usually the way that I do that is by packing it in one of these Hoover bags, the storage bags, and you literally fill the bag up, pop the Hoover nozzle on there, and it sucks all the air out and it basically flat packs it for you. So it takes up very little room in the car or the suitcase. Because you still get your duvet cover and your pillows, like your actual duvet and your pillows, it's only the covers that are not included. So that is brilliant to me. I just think that saves me between £15 and £30 a break, depending on how long I'm staying for. Sometimes I'll even pack towels, teddies, any kind of really bulky items can be put in these bags and sort of have the air sucked out of them, which does save a lot of room. And it's also good for when it's empty at the caravan, it can be easily stored. While we're on the subject of space saving, this is how I take my condiments for the caravan. Whenever I go out to eat, to restaurants, to cafes or anything like that, if ever there's any sauce sachets on offer, I grab them and the salt, and I basically put these in an old Ferrero Rocher box and secure it with just a normal hair bubble. This gets topped up each time that we come home, but it means that I don't have to take bottles of sauce, which could leak and also take up a lot of room, and you might not have very much room to store them. And this will do us for a weekend easily, because often if we're eating from the chip shop or whatever, we can get condiments and things there. So this is just for if we're cooking at the caravan. Children do tend to get ill a lot, we know this, and the cost of medication at caravan parks, as I found out to my detriment, was very high. I think I paid nearly £5.60 for a bottle of paracetamol, and it was smaller than this one when my son was poorly, so I always now take paracetamol with me. I have 2 first aid boxes. One is full of actual tablets, or paracetamol for me, tissues because you always need them, a Lemsip for colds, and obviously your all-important thermometer to see if they actually have a temperature or not. This one, Thomas once had an accident on the segways and sprained his ankle and I had nothing for him, so that doesn't happen anymore. I make sure that we have plasters, Germline, tape, wipes, saline solution, and obviously Thomas takes medication on a night time and that goes in there, and if I'm on medication at the time for my health problems, then that normally goes in this box as well, which just keeps everything together, and it's really easy just to grab and pop in the suitcase whenever we're packing up and unpacking. We don't have to worry about it. Money saving tips, I would say. One of the biggest things I was spending money on when I was away was coffees, hot chocolates and things like that. And that was when I was at the show bar at silly o'clock in the morning listening to Anxious the Elephant, and Costa was next door. So now what I do is I've got my portable coffee cup. I basically make myself a cup of tea or coffee, take it down to the show bar with us, and I've been doing this for over a year, and I don't think I've never ever been questioned about it yet. I don't intend to be either. You know, it's just saving you £2 or £3 every time you buy a coffee. Along that theme, I was buying an insane amount of fruit shoots, especially on a night time when my son was running around in the show bar and was very hot. He still has a slush every night and that's fine, but slushes don't really quench the thirst, so he was still needing something more. So I just take my own fruit shoots in my bag. They sell them at the bar, so really they can't know whether you've bought it or not from there. I once had a really bad accident with my shampoo leaking and it went all over my clothes, all over the clothes. It was an absolute nightmare. So now what I do is I double bag them. I do have the travel sized ones, which is great if you're only going for a weekend. But when you're going for a week, you inevitably need more, especially if you're going swimming and things like that. So now what I do is I just use these sandwich bags. I put one on the top, one on the bottom, and usually when we're going there'll be a bubble around the middle to hold them together like that, so that if they do leak, they stay in the bag and they don't go all over your clothes and everything else that's in your suitcase. I had to spend a full day nearly washing and rinsing all of my clothes when we first arrived for a week's holiday. That was not fun. Another thing that I do is I have a set of Caravan towels. Some people might think that is absolutely crazy, but because we go on a monthly basis, it's just so much easier to have a set of towels. This is obviously one of them. There's another two. One for me, one for my son, and one for our hairs, because my son's hair is really short, but can just share a towel, it's not a problem. And basically, we have different towels for swimming, because it's swimming, but these are our Caravan towels for showers and getting washed on a morning. And it just means that when we come back from the caravan, I pop them through the wash and they go straight back into the suitcase, and it's just one less thing to wash and pack the next time that we are going. This one is very specific to the park that we go to, which is Berwick. If you want to park in Berwick, it is free, but you have to have a parking disc because most of the car parks are time limited. So this is what it looks like. I got this at the car park near B&M. I literally put £1 in the machine, out drop the parking disc, and that's it. And you have to set the time to when you arrived, and there'll be signs up all over the car park which will tell you how long you can park there for. So that's great, but obviously that is very, very specific to Northumberland. That is just how they do their parking. But obviously if anybody was heading up to Berwick and wanted to park in Berwick, this is not on the Caravan park, this is actually in Berwick town centre, then obviously you'll need one of them, and that's how you purchase one. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of off the top of my head about it. Planning is the best way that I can think to sort of save any kind of money on a holiday. The activity bundles that you can buy from Haven are really, really good, especially if you have more than one child. It works out that you get one free activity with each bundle, basically, by the time you work out how much you would have paid without the bundle. And you can pre-book it online before you arrive, which is great, especially if there's going to be during busy periods. You can't do that if you don't have an activity bundle. Downloading the Haven app is an absolute must, because that is way more up to date than any of the flyers that you might be given at the parks. We found that out the last time we were there. In the welcome pack that we were given from the park, it was advertising an Easter party and all sorts of other things like that, which actually wasn't on until the following week, and it wasn't on the app. The welcome packs had been misprinted from head office, which wasn't great. But the app was bang up to date, so I can't recommend highly enough having the app. It tells you exactly what's on, where it's on, if you have to book, how much it is, and if it accepts activity bundles, and if so, how many. So that's great. I'd really recommend downloading that app, and it's much better than it was last year. Last year it was constantly crashing and not working. This year it definitely works great. So yeah, that's just my top tips for packing for Haven. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It would be great if you could subscribe. I always do videos when I'm up in Berwick, and I'll probably be doing some more haul type videos soon as well. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.